A drama between mothers and sons, playing out on stage at Playhouse in the Park.
Mothers and Sons is an intense tale about a mother who lost her son to AIDS and her attempt to make peace with his partner's new life. Two of the stars are with us this morning. I want you to meet Alvin Keith, who plays Cal Porter, and Ben Cherry is Will Ogden. Gentlemen, welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome. I was reading a little bit about the play, and it sounds like a very intense, serious story. Alvin, your character is Cal, and you've moved forward 20 years after losing your partner to AIDS.
Yes.
And then your mother-in-law, I guess, comes
Well, she's
back.
not my mother-in-law because we weren't married.
There was no marriage back there. Yeah, there was
Right.
no gay marriage then.
Yes.
But tell me about playing a role this intense and this serious. Where do you have to go to get that energy for that?
To a quiet space first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it must take a great deal of energy.
It does every night, but I mean, it's such a poignant role and such a poignant play and such a poignant kind of story to be told. And there's 20 years of history there, so I find that a little easier to tap into because you know, so much of the work has been done for me.
Yeah, and so much of this really is not just a personal story, but it's a story of our country. Like you said, it's 20 years of
Yes.
history and just how much has changed in that time.
And how much hasn't changed during that time. This play is about 3 different generations. What, 1, 2, 3,
4 generations.
4 generations. Yeah, and what we as a family kind of go through, and what American families have gone through over the span of like 20, now 30 actually years since the AIDS epidemic.
And Ben, your character really only has a passing or maybe a secondhand knowledge of what gay men in America went through 20 or 25 years ago.
Right.
Talk about that change in our culture.
I think, but that Will really represents the younger generation who didn't go through that terrible time in the early 80s through early 90s when everybody was dying. So his perspective, though he has a connection, of course, to it through Cal, he really is aware, but his views are different because of the medications that have come about. His generation isn't as scared, and that's part of what the theme of the play is. Like, these ideas about AIDS have changed, and the tragedy is being forgotten, and people are being unsafe and continuing on through life not with that fear that Cal grew up with.
Is there still sort of, even with someone who was younger, a respect and understanding of what people had gone through prior to?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Or is it so
No.
out of your own personal experience that you're not able to kind of connect to that character's
I think
experience?
that in this case, he definitely is connected to it because of his partner's loss.
Yeah.
He understands that. But I think that the playwright is definitely hinting towards a generation that doesn't have a connection to it and will make poor decisions because
Terrence
of it.
McNally is such a prolific playwright. I mean, I can't.
God, yes.
I'm sure it's a beautifully written piece. But as you mentioned, Alvin, there are some things that haven't changed. There are a lot of people whose attitudes on this have not changed.
Most definitely.
Is there a message in this play that people need to see?
This is a play about family. It's a play about reconciliation and truth and honesty, and I think that's one of the messages. For as long as we are truthful and honest about the past, then we can actually, reconcile and have a wonderful future.
And though it's intense, I must say there are a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
Yes, there is comedy in this piece.
Yes.
Well, and let me ask you this too. So I'd ask both of you what it's like to be up at the Playhouse just as a spot, because it's such a wonderful, place to do a show. But additionally, the significance of this area as it pertains to this particular issue and the issues faced by these characters. I mean, Jim Obergefell and everything else. I mean, from here, does that sort of play on you guys at all? Do you think about that kind of stuff at all?
Honestly, I'm not from here, so I don't know that local history about it. But as far as the Playhouse is considered, it's wonderful to be in the shelter house space, which I think is the perfect space for a play like this. It's a 200+ seat theater. It's a black box, so everything is intimate.
Yeah.
The play takes place in our living room. And so a lot of people have told us while seeing this play, they forget that they're watching a play, and they feel that they're actually in the house, in the living room with us. And that's something that only the Shelter House Theater here in Cincinnati can provide.
That's true.
That's a great perspective. Well, welcome back to Cincinnati.
Thank you.
Ben, welcome to Cincinnati
Happy
for
to
the
be
first
here.
time.
Thank
If you'd
you.
like to go see Mothers and Sons at Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park, we have ticket information with a link on our website, local12.com. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Thank you
We're
so
always
much.
happy when actors get up this early in the morning.
Yeah.
We know how much you love
We're
these
very
early morning hours.
appreciative.
Yeah.